Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to show you Daniel Roy's #1 sleight of hand technique. Daniel is by far one of the top sleight of hand performers in the world. He is amazing and I really do enjoy watching his material. He's got this good mix between magician and gambling routines that I kind of like. This technique is more of a magician technique, not so much a gambler technique. But the technique does take some time to master, does take some time to perfect. It is a bit of a complex technique. I'm going to teach you an easier way to execute the technique. Now, the technique that we're talking about is the pinky break in combination with the pinky count. Now, what are we talking about? Well, let's say that you want to do a double lift. Now, as you know, in a double lift, you are lifting two cards as if they were one. So what you would do is that you would use your pinky to count exactly two cards. Okay? So now I've got two cards here that I counted. Now these two cards are ready to go. All I have to do now is simply reach down here and grab the two cards and move them. Now, if I want to turn them again, and of course I've got two cards here, see? Now if I want to turn them again, I'll simply pinky count again, 1, 2, and I'm ready to go. I hold that break with my pinky, and I'm ready to go to grab those two cards as one and turn them over. Now, the spectator sees the 8 of clubs, but in reality, the top card is the ace of spades. Another way to do it is to move cards around. So in this case, you would count however many cards you need to move around with your pinky. So let's say you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now you've got 5 cards there that you can grab and let's say you can put on the table. Spectator thinks you grabbed 1 card, but in reality you grabbed 5 cards and you put those 5 cards on the table. Okay? Think the invisible palm. Now the other thing that this could be used, since I was talking about the invisible palm, this could be used as a get ready for a palm. Alright? Now how would that be? Well, for example, so instead of using the pinky count, you would use the pinky break. Okay? So the pinky break is just for one card, one single card, the top card. So in this case, we've got the ace of spades and we want to palm that ace of spades. So what you would do is that you would pinky break. So that's one card that I have now broken with my pinky. Now I can proceed to palm the card by squaring up the deck and palming the card as I do the motion of squaring up the deck. But all I did was simply grab that ace of spades. But I needed the pinky break in order to be able to execute the palm. The pinky break and the pinky count can be used for different things. You can use it to count cards or you can use it to break off a singular card. Now, what's the problem with this? The problem with this is that doing the count actually takes some practice. And that means that it takes a while to get it. Now, a couple of tips for you to help you with this technique before I teach you a simpler way of doing it. The first thing would be this. Make sure that your grip is mechanic's grip. Very important. Hold the deck in a mechanic's grip. When you're going to do the pinky break or the pinky count, make sure to use your thumb and your pinky to flex the deck. All right? You're flexing it like so, like this. So what you're going to do is that you're going to use your thumb and your pinky and flex the cards this way. All right? Now, to make it a little bit more deceiving, move your hand this way. Turn your hand this way. Okay? So you're making these moves here, here, trying to make it more deceiving. Don't do this in front of the person. You know, don't do that. Or for example, don't be here and put your hand flat on the table and start counting. Because you can see the cards are popping up as I'm counting. They're popping up. Make sure that you are angling the deck in such a manner to where you can't see that the card is being broken off, like right there, okay? Don't shove your pinky into the card. For example, if I pinky count 2 cards, I've got 2 cards right there. I'm not going to shove my pinky in there, like so. I'm not gonna shove my pinky inside, like this. Don't shove your pinky in there, because what you're gonna do is that you're going to make a warp right here on the cards. The cards are gonna warp on this side because there's so much mass underneath them. You're almost the entire tip of your pinky is in there. So don't do that. Make sure that you're not doing that. Remember that all you need is just a slight break in order to be easier for you to grab those 2 cards or grab those 3 cards or 5 cards or whatever, okay? So be very subtle with this, even if you're doing it just with 1 card. Now, an easy method for creating a double lift, for example, this is what mostly this technique is used to, for a double lift. The easiest way that I can tell you how to do this, that'll get you going quickly with this technique, would be this. Break the sequence off into 2 parts. So the complex part is to move your hand around while your pinky is counting and breaking. You're doing everything with 1 hand. Everything is contained here. That's the complicated, the more advanced way to do it. That's how Daniel does it. But an easier method for the beginner would be to separate that into 2. So the first thing you're gonna do is this. Let's say, for example, because we have to justify these moves. Let's say that you just riffle the deck, and after you riffle the cards, what do? Well, you square them up, okay? This is normal. Everybody expects you to square up the cards. As you're squaring up the cards, that's when you're gonna do your initial get ready move, okay? How that is done is that you're gonna use the back of your thumb on your opposite hand, and you're gonna wedge 2 cards upwards. You're wedging the cards up with your thumb. Once you wedge the cards up with your thumb, insert your pinky underneath. Now all of this is going to be done while you're squaring up the cards. And now I'm ready to go. So that was the initial first phase, the get ready phase. I now have the mechanics grip, I now have the deck squared up, I now have 2 cards, and I now have my pinky break on the 2 cards. And I did all of that in the action, the justified action of squaring up the deck. Now I can simply move my hands around casually, say something to the spectator, and after I say that to the spectator, then I'm going to grab and I'm going to turn. I'll grab and turn, and now I'm going to square up the deck, and as I square up the deck, again, I wedge with my thumb, I wedge the 2 cards up, insert the pinky, and now I'm in the get ready position. I finish my pattern, and then I grab the 2 cards and I turn them. In many different circumstances, that's how this technique would be used. It has a ton of applications. It has a lot of ways that you can go with it, but this would be an easier way to do it. So I hope this helped out. Like I said, this technique is employed by pretty much every top sleight of hand magician. So that's gonna be it for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it was helpful. Any questions, drop them in the comments down below. And do consider subscribing to the channel. I upload new gambling sleight of hand techniques and tutorials every single week. Catch you next time.